We, Vixicale, have warred throughout the galaxy for millennia. Countless civilizations have fallen before our might. Our drums have heralded our coming since the beginning. This was our way, and this blue and green pearl of life before us would suffer the same. We have come, humans. Prepare yourselves. This was our message to those below, as prescribed in the law of coming war. We gave them one rotation of their planet to prepare, whilst we waited above. Soon their time had come, and we deployed our drums. Massive cylinders extended from the sides of our ships, and the drummers swung their mallets, beating the taut membranes with a manic frenzy, showering the planet below with the most terrifying of sounds. We descended in dropships, landing in a brilliant green field. The final wave of bass drifted away from my legion as the final blow struck. Silence ensued as my legion prepared to face the army across the field. However, before we could move to engage the enemy, we heard it. At first I thought it to be an echo, but the beating continued. It was quiet. Very quiet. The faint beating of a drum. It was our tradition that we never engage an enemy while the drums of war still beat. Ours and theirs. Strangely, our scouts had reported no drums among the enemy. These humans stood, awaiting the battle stoically, their weapons pointed at our warriors from across the field. We waited for the final beat of their drums patiently. Soon the darkness was upon us, and still we waited. We saw their scouts among the local flora. We saw, but we did nothing, for the drums of war still beat. I contacted my superiors, who reported much the same across the planet. After 3 rotations of the planet, I decided to act. I approached the front line of the enemy, alone and unarmed. I would be the first to face the enemy. Soon, a lone human emerged from the ranks. It walked towards me. Though unarmed, it was not alone. When it stood before me, I spoke in their tongue. "Human, why do you prolong the coming?" I asked. "The coming?" it responded, the inflection in its voice indicating a question. "The coming of war. We have waited for you to finish the beating of your drums, as you have waited for us. Why do you insist on prolonging the coming ritual?" I answered. I knew the human language, for I believe that language is an important element in understanding the enemy. However, time constraints forbade my study of their body language and expressions, though I believe he is confused. Just as my patience waned, he stated, "What are you talking about? We aren't beating any drums." "Do not lie to me, human. You are not the first to try this. Others have tried to forego their deaths by prolonging the coming ritual. It won't work. Our traditions are important to us, but we will begin the attack while they still beat if we have to," I said, glaring at him. "I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about." I cut him off and leaned closer to the human. "Stop this lying," I screamed, with as much terror as I could put into their language. I saw what I believed to be fear shoot across their faces when suddenly I felt the tone of their drums shift. Now they were louder and faster. I examined the humans that stood before me, assured that the shift indicated a coming attack. They appeared tense but stood idly. Again, I strained to identify the source of the drums, as they seemed to be nearby. They were so clear here among these humans. It was then I realized they weren't as clear either, when I stood alone. The humans stared back at me, as my gaze slowly shifted from one to the other. I began to follow the beating. Surely they cannot be far. I followed the beat, and I found myself closer to the one who spoke. The drums beat even faster as I placed my auditory canal against his thoracic cavity. Realization flooded my mind. I returned to my legion just as my superiors landed. They wasted no time in commanding me to reveal the location of the enemy's drums. "My lords," I proclaimed, kneeling before them in accordance with the law. "We should not fight these humans, for the drums of war beat within them."